let's lead to Akron as the state Final Four is nearly here. And to help give us a preview of the semifinal showdown, it's time for another edition of Baseball with Bruce. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Nicole, it's great to be here, and you're right about one thing. This is state Final Four weekend, and Canal Park in Akron is going to be full of baseball weekend. And we're so lucky that two local teams are going to be there, and hopefully both can bring back a title, Northwest Ohio.
So we've got Perrysburg
Yes.
and Lake, but let's start with those Yellow Jackets, especially as the NLL now for the third straight year has a team in the Final Four.
Well, and I think we've alluded to it earlier this year. The NLL is so deep, and Dave Hall made a great point that it could be any one of 4 or 5 teams that are still playing. But Dave Hall and his team had a moment a few weeks ago where things weren't going so well, and Dave kind of lost it on his team a little bit. They had gotten beat pretty bad to Anthony Wayne, and he asked them what they wanted their legacy to be, and they all decided, put their heads together. Now they've won 18 of 20 games, and I was fortunate enough to be on the call last Friday against Lakewood St. Edwards. And there's a player I wanted to mention tonight that often doesn't get a lot of credit for Perrysburg, Quinn Weber, their catcher. When the game was 2-0 last Friday, he made a couple blocks behind home plate as a catcher that really kept him in the game, did not let Lakewood St. Edwards get an extra base, and I thought he was key to the team. He also laid down a huge sacrifice bunt in that game. Now they're going to Akron, and they're going to play a really good Mason Comets team who has Jack Hanley, who was the player of the year in the state of Ohio. The Indiana commit has been on fire all year. But I tell you what, when you've got a Matt Hubbard going to the mound, anything's possible, and he's done a great job all year on the mound. And the Perrysburg team is playing for each other right now. I know it'll be Dave Hall's third trip to Columbus. In 2003, they lost in the semifinals. 2011, they got to the finals. But I think this is his best shot, and I really like the team.
The Yellow Jackets have certainly had moments where their defenses come in if the bats aren't hot, or the offense responding if the pitching isn't there. But let's look at the other team also headed to Akron. That would be Lake, as the Flyers are flying high. Yeah,
Lake has started the year hot, and they've gotten hotter, if that's possible. A big win last week. They're going to state. You know, Drew Tagebuck will pitch for them in all likelihood. On Saturday at 10 a.m. they play. They play the Minford Falcons. They've got as good a chance as anybody in their division. And Lake has just really, they've exceeded my expectations. I thought Eastwood might be the team to beat out that way, but Lake has put everything to rest and has truly been a great team all season.
You talk about exceeding expectations. Does it surprise you to see either of these teams reaching this point?
No, I don't, because they both come from very strong leagues, and they've got good pitching, deep pitching. And anyone that's been in baseball for any amount of time realizes when you have good pitching, anything can happen. And that's why I think they both have a legitimate shot to go to Akron and win this whole thing. But they're just worried about their Friday and Saturday games at this point.
Now, before I let you go, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Napoleon and the outstanding season that the Wildcats had.
Yeah, Napoleon, you know, for a lot of people, they were a dark horse. For me, they weren't, because Eric Sprague has done a tremendous job out there as the manager at Napoleon High School. And when you got a Trey Rubenstein, you can compete with a lot of teams. Trey's only a junior. He'll be back next year. Keep an eye on Napoleon. I think it was a leap forward, but I think that program is going to be around for a long time. We're going to be talking about them more and more on Baseball with Bruce.
And competing in the NLL, you know that they're going to get pushed.
Oh, competing in that NLL is absolutely incredible. You know, all year I talked about Clay, Anthony Wayne, and Sylvania Northview. Well, who comes out of it? Perrysburg, who finished 4th in their division, and Napoleon, who finished 2nd in their division. Congratulations to all the teams, and to Lake and Perrysburg. I'll see you in Akron this Friday.
Well, we can't wait for that state semifinals action, and we also get one more Baseball with Bruce to look forward to as well.
Yeah, next week we're going to come back. We're going to talk about our year-end winners, who made All-State. There's a lot of them from Northwest Ohio.
All right, we'll look forward to that then. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Nicole.